The Supreme Court of Guam heard oral arguments from both parties this morning in Gerald Wayne Cruz's animal cruelty case. Deputy Attorney General Stephanie Mendiola is appealing the decision and order from then Superior Court Judge Michael Bordalio.
The people charged Defendant Cruz with causing serious physical injury to these animals, but the trial court erroneously dismissed these charges based on its own interpretation that the law required the animals to survive in order for the crime to be committed. But that is not what the law requires, and that is not what the legislature intended. So we ask this court to correct this error, reverse the dismissal, and reinstate the indictment to allow the people to proceed on these charges.
On the other side, defense counsel William Bischoff makes previous successful arguments from trial court.
All that we have been saying all throughout this case is that it's a misdemeanor, not a felony, because of the statutory definition of serious bodily injury, which is a substantial risk of death. This wasn't even a substantial risk of death. This was a practical certainty of death, which is the terminology of a knowing crime.
It was back in May 2018 when Cruz allegedly went to his neighbor's house, shot the neighbor's cat, then threw it in the back of his Tacoma. Then 4 months later, he's accused of causing similar serious physical injury to another neighbor's 2-year-old dog, Pugua, who he allegedly shot and killed.
This case is about who gets to decide crime and punishment. What is the crime of animal abuse? How do we punish animal abusers? So at issue in this case is the interpretation of the law that created the felony crime of animal abuse and the corresponding punishment. And the law is clear and unambiguous. It is a felony crime to cause serious physical injury to an animal, and it remains a crime regardless of whether that animal lives or dies.
A second superseding indictment charged Cruz with cruelly killing as a felony. The trial court ultimately dismissed the indictment, favoring the defense's arguments, and found there was insufficient facts or evidence of the animal suffering before death. Mendiola argues the indictment is correctly before the court.
This indictment is also sufficient, and the law does not require the element of survival, which is the single factor for which the trial court dismissed this indictment.
The prosecution noted this morning that while Puga's case was being heard, the legislature was discussing Puga's law. The higher court is taking the matter under advisement. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.